Let's talk about letting go of limiting beliefs so that you can finally receive the abundance that the universe is trying to give you. On my last email newsletter, I invited anybody in my email list to reply with a question that they really wanted me to answer via video. So this particular video is for Dre because this was her email in question. Hi Alicia, thanks for the awesome email. Any chance you can make a video about letting go of limiting beliefs so you can finally accept the abundance the universe is trying to give you? How to let go of limiting beliefs so you no longer self-sabotage your efforts for greatness. Looking forward to it. Warm regards, Dre. So I'm really happy to answer this for you. Here's a couple of tips. Actually, let's do this. Let's go back and actually discuss what a limiting belief is, and then we can then understand how to actually change it. The first thing that you need to understand is the fact that a limiting belief is just it's a belief. And what is a belief? A belief is something that you have just thought over and over and over and over again until it has become your truth. Make sense? A limiting belief would be one where you believe something to be true, but it's limiting you from getting what it is that you truly desire. For example, let's say that you were really wanting to make enough money to come on my first in-person retreat at the end of the year. Let's just say, for example, your limiting belief might be, it's really hard to make that much money. I can't afford it. I'm not deserving of going to something that incredible and luxurious and transformational. I'm not ready. I don't have enough. I am not enough, etc., etc. All of those beliefs, they are beliefs, they are limiting you from the abundance that which the universe would want to give you. In order for this belief to be such a core belief that it is not allowing the abundance to come through, it means that either you were in a traumatic event that, has prevented you from wanting to receive abundance because, let's say in your past, you went after the thing, you believed that you could, you believed that you were worthy, but then something bad happened, whether you hurt somebody that you love, whether you got backlash on it, whether something negative that caused you the opposite effect of what you wanted occurred. When that happens, usually what will occur is your brain will say, okay, it's programmed for survival. So it was like, wow, me going after what I wanted or believing that I was enough clearly isn't the case. It caused me ridicule. It caused me to get attacked. It caused me to have my loved ones not love me anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. So you make a decision in that moment, wow, I'm not good enough, right? And then what happens is when you say, I'm not good enough, and you play the victim, we're just using this as an example. I'm not saying this is your specific situation, but when you then go, okay, well, I'm not good enough, and then you act in that belief, right? All of a sudden, you get the love that you want from your family, people stop attacking you, and you all of a sudden get something beneficial that you were wanting from having this belief. And that is why it's really hard to remove it. There are several different ways to basically remove a limiting belief so that you can receive the abundance that the universe has in store for you, and so that you stop self-sabotaging yourself. I'll go over a couple of ways that you can do this. One of the first and easiest ways is you can book a Shift Your Belief session with me. You can get it in the link in my description. But basically, within 30 minutes, I will tune in, we'll go straight into your soul, we'll figure out which limiting belief and the source of that limiting belief that is causing it to stay stuck. We'll remove that limiting belief permanently and replace it with a positive one. And it's permanent, and it is so liberating, and it's so effective, and it is long lasting. However, if that's not what you want to do and you want to learn how to do this on your own, there are a couple of ways that you can easily, I'll just say this, that you can remove your limiting beliefs on your own. Let's dive in. The first one is to first identify what that limiting belief is. So I'm not enough, I'm not deserving of it, it's really hard to make money, like I'm always the bridesmaid, never the bride, etc., whatever it is. You want to locate it, and then you also then want to figure out, okay, is this really true for me? Right? Like, is this what I really want to believe? Honestly, every single time you ask yourself that question, it most likely should be a no, because you know for a fact that it's not true, right? You can change your mind anytime. You can change your beliefs anytime. Once you figure out, okay, yeah, that's obviously not true, then you go about the process of shifting into the new belief. Now, this is where it gets tricky because everybody's journey is different. Everybody has a different way of being able to process those negative emotions, to release it and to like remove your vice grip on this limiting belief. With that being said, okay, some suggestions can be, you can go through and process it out. Like, wow, you know what? That really wasn't fair that they attacked me that way. You know what? That wasn't my fault. Their reaction is their karma. My reaction is my karma, right? It can be as simple as that. Some other people might really need to go to a therapist, go to a coach, really talk about it, process out those feelings. A lot of times when it comes to family, it can be really sticky and it can be really emotional. And sometimes having someone else to help you is also a valid form of healing through that and coming to peace with it. Because at the end of the day, that's really what you want to do, is come to terms with the fact that whatever the trauma was, it happened, it sucked, but it made you who you are today. And as long as you can learn the wisdom from that event, you can then apply that wisdom to your life and never have to deal with it again, in which case it opens you up to receiving the abundance that you desire. Right? Once you then process all of your emotions, and again, you can do that through journaling, you can do that through scripting, you can pull cards for yourself, you can take one day to, have a date with Ben and Jerry's and just process it out. Let yourself feel through the pain of the past, right? Or if you don't even want to deal with the trauma, and this is something that Abraham Hicks talks a lot about with Law of Attraction, she's all about just pivoting and shifting. So it might just be, okay, money's really hard to make, for example, right? Be like, okay, what's a better feeling thought from there? It may not be realistic for you to go from money's really hard to make to money's so easy to make. Like, I just make money in my sleep. It might be too high of a vibrational jump for you. So you'll want to incrementally upgrade it. It might be money is becoming easier for me to make. I am improving my relationship with money. I actually am starting to love money and money is starting to love me. You're starting to do it in a way where you can massage it and get yourself to realistically believe these new beliefs that you want to believe about money or about anything else. Okay. Then once you get to a point where you feel like, okay, this is what I really want my new ideal belief to be, which is I receive the abundance that the universe has for me. I expect the best that love and life has to offer. Abundance is the only reality that I know. That is just what you are. You can jump into that at whichever point. This is where all of the girlies on TikTok will talk about, this is the summer of Delulu. That's lucky girl syndrome. This is law of assumption. This is living in the end. This is just acting as if. This is just, yeah, of course abundance is my birthday. Of course this is the only reality that I know. Of course the universe blesses me with miracles every single day. Of course, I always have good things happen to me every day because I expect the best that love and life has to offer. So of course this is just going to happen. That's just my new reality. That's just how it goes. That's just what I experience on a daily basis, right? Getting into that vibration, even you hearing me say that, all of a sudden you're elevated into this new attraction mode to attract those good things to you, right? So that's one way to do it, is delusional, right? That summer of Delulu, and acting as if, because if you assumed that was true, right? What's going to happen? Things are just going to start coming your way. You're not going to have as much stress. You're not in the vibration of lack. You're not in cheap energy. And all of a sudden, once you release this vice grip on the limiting beliefs and that energy, all of a sudden, all of the miracles start flowing to you in the easiest and fastest and most honestly unexpected ways than you ever thought possible. And isn't that the wonder of living in this life? The other last thing that I can suggest for you to do is to start compounding your efforts. So one of my favorite books that honestly changed my life in my spiritual journey, as in like I needed at a specific point to level up to my next level, is Atomic Habits by James Clear. You can get it in my the description. I have a link for it. If you have it already, reread it. If you haven't read it yet, get it today. It's an easy read. He is so great at breaking down exactly why atomic habits really compound in order to change your life and change your limiting beliefs in this respect. Long story short, when you're talking about how the actual mind works, okay, and this is more science than it is like spirituality, this is really about understanding that your brain is programmed to focus and look for certain things, right? So if you have a limiting belief that it's really hard to make money, your brain is programmed to look for ways in which money is hard to make, right? So you have to scrape off the label and say, no, money is easy to make. And then why is it so easy? You can use affirmations, affirmations, whatever. So why is it so easy for me to make money? Money is so easy for me to make. What if it was so easy for me to make money, right? All of a sudden your brain is going to start to look for different ways in order for money to be easy for you to make. For example, with Atomic Habits, the way that comes in is you do micro actions every day to shift your belief. And the reason why you do micro ones is because it does not ring the alarms off in your ego mind that's like, red alert, red alert, red alert, money is hard, money is hard, money is hard. Don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, because it's trying to protect you. And so in order to not let the alarm go off, like think of it like a smoke alarm, right? Then you just do these tiny little things in order to shift your mindset, in order to prove to yourself that money can be easy, right? And then once you start creating these daily habits, those actions will compound. So the more little tiny actions that you can take to show yourself like money is really easy to make, or abundance is always flowing to me, or miracles happen for me every single day, then all of a sudden if you see, oh my God, that's a miracle, 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 that's a miracle. Once you start to affirm that, all of a sudden you start to reprogram your brain to believe, oh my God, wait, maybe miracles really do happen for me every day. Maybe abundance does fall into my lap every single day. I just didn't notice it before. And then all of a sudden you start to shift your vibration, you shift your perspective, you shift that limiting belief to ultimately get to a point where you're like, I receive miracles every single day. Does that make sense? You can use a combination of all of these tips or just one of those tips. So try out which one would work best for you and see which one makes you feel the way that you want to feel. Because ultimately your emotions are going to tell you what is actually like helping you get aligned with what you want, the abundance, the love, the happiness, the money, the wealth, and what isn't. And the easiest way to know that is this: if it feels good, then that is the right path. If it feels bad, then that is not the right path, right? That's just the easiest way to gauge what's actually occurring, right? So the happier you feel, like if you already had all the abundance that you wanted from the universe, you would feel happy, satisfied, and fulfilled. You wouldn't feel stressed out. You wouldn't feel worried. You wouldn't feel anxious. You wouldn't feel freaked out. You wouldn't feel stressed. You wouldn't feel lack. You would feel what? Abundant, right? So if you feel abundant, then that's going to be your gauge. If you feel abundant, then that's more of what you need to do. If you don't feel abundant, you need to stop doing that stuff, period. Does that make sense? Let me know if this helps. If you liked these tips, click the like button, hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and drop a comment and let me know which one of these tips will work best for you or which one you're excited to try. I absolutely love talking about manifesting, and I have so many tips to share. Of course, I'm going to say this ad nauseum. Every single person's spiritual journey is different, which is why I want you to just take the tips that resonate and leave the rest. Everything is unique to you. One tip might work for you now, and then like in the next month, another, it might not work, and you might need to pick up another tool. That's why I am all about finding out what works best for you. This is not about me. This is not about what works best for me. I mean, I will share with you what works best for me, but I share all of this information so that you can try it out and discover for yourself what's going to cater to your strengths and your weaknesses to help you on your journey to get you to where you want to go. And that's my hope and wish, that you can use some of these tools to create your happily ever after, whatever that looks like for you. you. I love you to the moon and back. I really hope this helps. And we'll see you all in the next video. I love you. Bye.